Alive, ho. And hello, Justin. Oh, what is it? Tuesday. I always heard half a dozen times a day, at least. I find myself going, "What day is it? What's happening? Where are we? Who am I?" It's this weird limbo we live in now. I'm still not used to it, even though, yeah, like they've been working from home for 4 months now. I don't mind working from home. I really like it. In fact, I prefer it to commuting into the office. But everything else is blurring somewhat. And hello, Invisible Chicken and Nog. Nice to see you. Just the next day, it's like there've been some funny jokes. I mean, I've got to admit, as shit as everything with coronavirus is, the number of people hurting, the number of people getting sick and dying, number of people doing it tough, but there's been some good jokes. Yeah, it's not bad. Good jokes, or even just observations, not necessarily funny. I just really identified hard in the early stages of the first wave when someone said, calendars are useless now. There are literally only 3 days: yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Days of the week feel like they have less meaning. That's definitely how I feel. It's it's all very strange. A strange new world we live in. Alexa, hello, how are you? Justin, your dad had COVID symptoms, but it might just be a cold. Yes, it may well be. General recommendation is if you have even cold symptoms, cough, runny nose, etc., get a test. I think I mentioned, maybe I didn't, the other night. When was I last on? Sunday night? It's only 2 nights ago. See, lost track of time. But young Mr. Angry had said he'd been feeling tired and sort of achy all over for a couple of days. And those are, of course, flu symptoms. I thought, we might have to get you tested. And the next day he's going, no, I'm fine. And in fact, I think the guidelines for when you should be tested don't include body aches as a symptom. Oh, no, Justin, I activated your Alexa. I think that happened the last time you were on a live stream as well, Alexa. Is the peril of those things like what are they? There's Alexa, there's Siri, of course, on the phone, there's Google Home, like, suddenly saying, hey Google, buy 100 dildos, and see if someone's Google Assistant buys them 100 dildos. Hey Kirsten, good evening, how are you? Oh, it's it's Tuesdays, like, why am I feeling so oof and sort of over things only on a Tuesday? Because days don't mean as much as these. You can feel however you want to feel on any given day. There is no longer any need to justify, I don't think. Don't need to justify how you feel on any given day, whether you're working or not working, whether it's the first day of your work week or the last day of your work week. It's acceptable just to acknowledge things are a bit, or maybe they're really good, Maybe it's like, I'm in a good mood, I'm going to have a drink, It's just, we do what we do these days. We do not let convention to bind us. The old ways no longer serve us. We must come up with new ways to live our lives. There you go. There's an aggressive philosophy to start the evening. Kirsten, drinking some muscat in your jammies. That is a fine use of time. One of the things I don't drink is wine. I just don't really like wine. got some very cheap wine for cooking, and I did use the cheap red wine to make a New York sour for a YouTube video. But I don't drink wine. Sometimes I drink port. I haven't for a long time, actually. It's been quite a while since I've drunk any port. But I guess I do have the fortified wines or the aromatized wines, the variants of vermouth and whatnot in my collection. I've probably got, if we count Amaros, actually, I got an Amaro over there. Probably got 4 or 5 things that count as aromatized wines. And of course, I've got things that are distilled wines. Justin been Googling Trump pinatas. That does sound like a good election night party game. A Trump pinata, quality addition to election night party. But of course, yeah, I got the if you're allowed to be in a group, Trump cards, trumped up cards. The what do you call it? Sort of like in the vein of Cards Against Humanity, but themed around Donald Trump. I haven't had the opportunity to have a social gathering where I could actually use that since it was sent to me. So maybe that opportunity will arise before the US election this year. Who actually knows? Not me. Who knows anything? I mean, as I feel like every other day, and today was no exception. There was one today, but it's like every other day there's some article about trials for this COVID vaccine advancing. They're at an exciting stage. They show promise. And I'm like, yeah, shit, I'm going to believe it when I see it. I'm not going to believe any of these. Just magically, we're going to do something we've literally never done before. No, you might do the same for Johnson. Yes, I saw that he wouldn't rule out selling off the NHS to foreign interests because he's doing backroom deals with fucking Trump on that. Mr. Newman, good evening to you. Justin, would I do an election live stream? Probably. I mean, I have to work out the time differences for it to be relevant, like when counting in the US election starts and when meaningful results might come in and what time of day that would be for me. I actually did do a live stream for the last US election where Trump won. I think I did, or did I? Did I or didn't I? Am I thinking of the Australian federal? The Australian federal election sucked balls, and I was like almost everyone expecting the Libs to get trounced, and they didn't. So I was it. Oh, Stella. Oh, good Lord. Was that actually you? Sorry. It said C. Newman with a male avatar. So, so I leapt to a conclusion. Incorrect, as it turns out. So, Justin, are you saying that election US vote counting would start at 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Time? Thought it was Hodor. I wasn't sure because it's very small. And I am old and my eyes are bad, but I thought that was Hodor, yes. Hold the door, hold the door. I will be fascinated if George R.R. Martin ever fucking releases another Game of Thrones book. There's supposed to be 2 more in the series, but it's been, I don't know, 10 years since he published one. The TV show obviously took up a lot of his time, and it is possibly not a surprise that the quality of Game of Thrones took somewhat of a nosedive when it started to get past anything George R. Martin had written. Still, half your identity's blown. Although Kirsten knows that. Hey, Annette, by the way. Justin's saying I should take off. Oh, so would that be 11 a.m.? Oh, that's right, because Americans don't fucking have the fucking vote on the weekend or a holiday. I forgot how mind-bogglingly stupid the American election system is. I reckon I'll still be working from home in November, honestly. So it would be pretty easy to do a live stream from working from home, but yeah. Alexa, heard about a new Matrix on the way. Yes, I did hear they were working on a new Matrix movie. Who knows? Who knows whether it'll be any good? I know I'm not as hard on the Matrix sequels as a lot of people are. I mean, they're a long way from perfect, and in fact, they have some pretty serious flaws. But they have some great stuff in them too. So, yeah. A lot of people rag on the Matrix Reloaded and Revolutions, but I'm not down on them. I mean, I like watching it. The weirdest thing, after having watched it several times, I really couldn't tell you the resolution. I know it's Neo fighting with the Endless Agent Smiths, and I can't remember exactly what it is that justifies Neo beating Smith, which is weird because I've watched it multiple times. Strictly say you're not holding your breath. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to invest a lot of emotional energy into a new Matrix movie being good, but it might be. You never know. Stella, if George dies before he finishes Song of Ice and Fire, going to resurrect him like Boris Dondarrion until he fucking finishes it. Yeah, I mean, from some reports, the next book has been all but finished for a number of years. He has like a little army of continuity checkers who have to check every little thing, and they're responsible for meticulously going back over the previous books and seeing if George has accidentally contradicted himself in the long and convoluted story. But yes, I don't really know. What is it? Justin, what's the chances of Christmas being cancelled? Christmas is going to be weird. Christmas is definitely going to be weird. Stella, like Alan Rickman in Robin Hood, call off Christmas. He was very funny and very camp as the Sheriff of Nottingham in that movie. That's an interesting one, Invisible Chicken. George R.R. is getting a lot of work done over the COVID period. Maybe, yeah. Maybe he's using it to good effect. If so, good on him. Certainly not a lot of things like TV being developed in this period. So, yeah, we're going to run out of TV, although I think stuff's starting to go back into production in the US. But, yeah, I feel like we're going to run out of TV, and well, we'll really run out of movies because they've been holding off releasing movies. But yeah, it's weird. Strictly say Martin has a special old computer It's like a 286 for his script writing. Taking so long because he switched to a new computer and is getting held up watching YouTube. That could be it. Oh, that's interesting. They put out a casting call for the Dance of Dragons prequel. Yes, he certainly did a lot of hinting about what happened in the before times. Lots of room for storytelling in there. One of the other thing that was supposedly being made, and I don't know if it ever got past conceptual stage, but a TV series based on the world of the Lord of the Rings, but I think taking place in an earlier age. So at first, when the stories first came out, I thought it was literally someone was going to do a TV length adaptation of the Lord of the Rings. But then, if I remember rightly, they said, it's not the Lord of the Rings as such. It's Middle Earth, but it's at a different time. Justin, you might be stuck in Canberra for Christmas. Yeah, it's quite... Look, dude, anyone who tries to predict what the world is going to be like at Christmas is full of shit. There are too many variables. So many variables, and just whole little trails of dominoes waiting to go tick, 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 and collapse. But yes. Yeah, I saw that. No, it was in the news today that the Nolan film Tenet, in Australia at least, has been delayed indefinitely. I don't know about the rest of the world. But so Stella George has already written Dance of Dragons story in an in-world history book. Why not, indeed? And Alexa, you think Christmas shopping looks like a great opportunity for startup to pick his niche? It's weird the things that have benefited from all this weirdness. A lot of things that people didn't predict have actually benefited. I mean, obviously, the overwhelming majority of businesses have suffered, but some people have just done the right thing at the right time, and it's worked for them. Annette, your mum lives for you, visiting her in Sydney at Christmas. Look, here in Australia, I am quite positive, not as in sure, but positive as in feeling positive, that by the end of the year, we will nationwide be in a good state. I think New South Wales is about to have a scare. Us here in Melbourne are obviously in the middle of a scare. It's going to take a little while to get under control, but I really feel like by the end of the year, us here in Australia are likely to be in a pretty good state. Rest of the world, who fucking knows? I have very bad feelings about the rest of the world. But if I were a gambling person, Annette, I would be leaning towards a safe bet is you would be able to go to your mum in Sydney at Christmas. But like I said, there are too many moving parts. Alexa, you want to start a liquidation business? Yeah, that could be a growth industry. Strictly Say, you're loving it. They play old movies at your cinema. Other night, went and saw the Michael Mann Heat from 1995. I'm trying to remember if I saw Heat in a cinema. I think I would have, but obviously in 1995, who can be sure? I feel like that's a movie I would have seen in a cinema, but I honestly can't be sure. Yes, Heat is a very stylish film, has some very good stuff in it. Possibly the last really good film Robert De Niro was in. Annette, well, I would be willing to bet a large amount of money there will be no international tourists in Sydney at Christmas, and fewer local tourists than there would normally be. So I don't think you'll have trouble getting a hotel room. Ooh, Annette having a watered down Calvados sidecar. I have Applejack at the moment, the American equivalent. I kind of swap between them. You get a bottle of Calvados. I always say Calvados. Some people say Calvados, whereas it's minor nuance of pronunciation. It's like I finish a bottle of Calvados, and for variety, then I get an American Applejack. It's basically the same thing, but made in a slightly different way, so they do have a different taste. It's a good one to have in the arsenal. That's the big question, Justin. What happens when a liquidation business goes bankrupt? So next week they're doing there's your cinema showing the old movies, the Jurassic Park trilogy, Back to the Future trilogy. Wow, yeah, being able to see them in a cinema, why not? Never got back into cinemas here. They had just started to open up in a limited way and then got shut down again. And I was just being cautious because I was like, I don't know that this has really gone away and that I want to be in crowded places yet. I'm going to stay at home. Turns out I was right. Oh, yeah, Annette, the Starward makes a good whiskey sour. I made one a little while ago with the Starward for the first time. Very good. Very good. Strictly saying it, the Pitch Perfect trilogy is showing as well. I actually think Pitch Perfect is really funny. Extremely silly, just extremely silly, but funny. I mean, like very, very lightweight movies. But I don't know, every now and then, a lightweight movie is a really good thing. A distraction from the horrors of the world, basically. You don't want to put too much thought into Pitch Perfect because then there's not much to think about in it. But I found them really enjoyable, light entertainment. And the arrangements of the songs are entertaining. It's not really my sort of music as such, but it's an entertaining thing to do with it. And the absolutely horrible judges. That's my favorite part of the Pitch Perfect movies, without a doubt. Those truly horrible judges who just constantly say terrible things. And yes, I agree. Rebel Wilson is actually really good in Pitch Perfect. Yes, Kirsten, I'm saving up for your new release. Since you let the cat out of the bag, I'm like, okay, that's my next whiskey purchase, most definitely. So as soon as that one's out, I'm ordering me some. So it's tricky to say, this time's a great time to watch old movies. Yeah, good distraction. Time's better. Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I put together a list of older movies I'd love to watch in a cinema again, that would actually be quite a bit of fun. Yeah, that's a fun wish list to come up with, actually. What would be great to see in a cinema again? So you can say you like the bit with Rebel Wilson singing "Oh, We Belong." She's crossing the road singing, her car comes up, starts honking at her. I actually don't remember that specifically. I remember just little bits. I think I've seen all three of them, like on TV. Didn't see any of them in the cinema. I remember just bits and pieces of them, and I just remember as quite fun, light entertainment. It's kind of like with my cocktails. I like to mix it up. Have a really sort of classy, boozy one sometimes. Have a sour. Have one that's a bit bitter. Have one that's sweet. Then have a really desserty, creamy one. Got to mix it. Oh, Annette Coinas Katsi. I haven't even watched them on disc for a while, but I've got Coinas Katsi, Nakoya Katsi, and Power Katsi on disc. That's what I was trying to say. I've got the trilogy on disc. What's the last? I did see Power Katsi in a cinema like when it first came out. And I do remember, I don't know if I was tripping or if I was just tired, but what I remember is getting absolutely spaced out by the imagery. And I don't know, I was drifting off, and the nature of the movie, like, I think sometimes my eyes would close and I go, what? And what was on screen was totally unrelated to what was on screen when I closed my eyes. And I was like, did I close my eyes for 2 seconds or 20 minutes? I can't tell. That was a really weird experience, because I remember I kept sort of zoning out and my eyes would close and I'd open them and it's like, okay, this bears no relationship to what I last saw, which doesn't mean anything. It's like I said, it could have been 2 seconds or 20 minutes. Yeah, Stella, I agree. I do remember enjoying Rebel in it. She was pretty funny. Strictly say, oh, you're a musical fan. American, oh, those are real classics. American Paris, Singing in the Rain, Bandwagon, the old Technicolor classics. Wow, that's pretty good. Oh God, yeah, Strictly Say, don't even get me started on Disney Company and copyright. That is fucking criminal enterprise. They are fucking gangsters just buying laws to the detriment of everyone for their own personal gain. It's fucking bullshit. Disney Company are a bunch of fucking criminals. Because Disney have pushed copyright so that Mickey Mouse doesn't go into public domain, no film more recent than about 1920s public domain. The Disney Company, they're just fucking criminals. Just this gangster shit. Ugh. They make me sick. It's like anytime you think, like, people are like so pro-capitalism, but well, big business offers all these things. Blah, blah, blah. For every benefit huge companies supposedly give us, they've stolen 10 other benefits from us. It's bullshit. Catherine, psychologists say watching the same shows, movies repeatedly is great for people with anxiety because the plot's predictable and reassuring. That makes good sense. Oh my God. Because trying to decide which new thing to watch is being paralyzed by choice at the moment. Yep, Alexa, I think that's right up there too. When it's a predictable entertainment you're watching, puts you in a happy place and you can relax. I'm serious though. Even choosing a new thing to watch can be stressful because there are so many options out there. I started watching the new version of War of the Worlds that's on SBS. It's good. Just watched the first episode. I think there are 3 or 4 episodes up. Like I watched it on demand. So there's that. I've been watching the new series of What We Do in the Shadows, which is fucking hilarious. It is so funny. What else? And there's some old shows that I'm trying to catch up on that are on Netflix. Things like Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Peaky Blinders and Ozark, Schitt's Creek, few others. And I have not been watching that much TV because I've been spending a lot of evenings with you fine people. So I haven't been watching that much TV since the old isolation shindig started because I've been busy and doing stuff on my cocktail channel too. I actually uploaded a video a little earlier this evening of the clarified coffee I made during the live stream last week that ended up being a clarified espresso martini. I put that up tonight because I had that in the can. I'm going to do some tequila ones later. Kirsten, you find Schitt's Creek soothing. The characters are lovely in that. It is a very warm show, Schitt's Creek. I think it's funny, and it's silly, and it is actually quite warm. I like that. But yes, I might not going to do it tonight, but I might make a couple of tequila cocktails for a video, make them into tomorrow night's live stream. And let me see. I think it's Friday. Friday the 24th is Tequila Day. Yes, it's Friday the 24th is Tequila Day. So I'm going to do a couple. I think I'll just do two. Do two tequila cocktails for Tequila Day. Na 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 na. Oh, nice. Strictly say you're in your time zone. It's about 8 when I finish. Gives you perfect timing to start a movie. Excellent. Oh, and you love Schitt's Creek too. Yes, the cast is wonderful. The cast of Schitt's Creek are very, very good. It's a very good ensemble show. Like the four leading characters, the Shits, and they're not the Shits, are they? No. Why did I call them the Shits? But the family who are the four leading characters, and then all the townspeople and supporting characters. Very good ensemble cast. Oh, the people who made those mockumentaries is Eugene Levy and Catherine O'Hara and Best in Show and Mighty Wind and of course, the most famous made by those people is Spinal Tap, but a bunch of the later ones are just very good mockumentaries. They're very good. So I found, again, as usual, on the Difford's site where they talk about cocktail of the day, it's for Tequila Day, they got a list, and there's some great ones I've never heard of. The Amatitian Twist. It's got, that just sounds good. It's tequila with maraschino, chartreuse, and grapefruit bitters. Was it 2 shots of tequila, 1/4 ounce of maraschino, 1/4 ounce of yellow chartreuse, and grapefruit bitters. So that's a tequila front and center, that one. La Perla. Dry salty sherry with dry salty tequila. Sweetened with pear and cognac. I don't have any pear liqueur. Oh, it's La Perla. Yeah. Lavender margarita. Lavender, lime, and tequila. I don't have any lavender. A picador. Oh, this is interesting. Maybe I should do that because it predates a margarita. It's the classic margarita. Hey, Megaleech, how are you going? Kirsten, you want to buy dresses, but you don't leave the house or wear real clothes. Stop shopping, Kirsten. I bought some shirts, so I've done some clothes shopping this lockdown. It's mostly been news. But I did buy some shirts and I bought some sheets for the bed. So, I feel good about that. And I bought computer parts too that are now kind of waiting for us not to be in lockdown so Abigail can upgrade my computer. And then I can do video in glorious 4K. So you get to see all my skin blemishes in detail. Ooh, do I really want that? Oh, well, say la vie. Yes. Yeah, so that's a thing. I'll get a computer upgraded at some point, and then I'll have a Boss kick-ass computer. Should do, because I'm spending a couple $1,000s on it. So that's something that's going to happen at some point. I'm trying to think, is there anything else I wanted to buy? Apart from booze? No, I just want to buy booze. Kirsten's got me excited about the new whiskey release from Starwood. Definitely getting that. I did order a new gin last night. New Navy strength gin. So I don't know. That'll arrive this week. I got to. Do I want to buy anything else from Dan's? Just the bog standard stuff. Don't know that I need anything. It's just like I look over there and go, oh my god, there's so much there that I haven't used in a cocktail for ages. I feel like I use the same things on the regular. Your husband and you spent $228 on booze in less than 24 hours. That's really easy because you do things like, well, Brogan's Way gin we were talking about in the live stream on Monday. Someone reminded me, with the Henry code, get $5 off and free shipping. So that's say $15, and that was a good enough reason for me to get the Brogan's Way Navy strength. So. But yes, it's so easy to spend $228 on booze, though, particularly if you're buying Australian stuff or high-end stuff from overseas. If you're not just buying the big, cheapish brands, it's super fucking easy to spend $228 on booze. Looking at I had to update my chart the other day, and I realized I've finished more bottles than I thought this year. I finished 6 bottles this year. I think it was 6. It was 5 or 6. And I bought 40 odd. Yeah, that was you. It was you who told me to do it. So, yes, okay. So your big spend was mostly 1 bottle of whiskey. Yeah, I know that feeling. But if I get the new Starwood one, then I've got 2 high proof whiskies. The Starwood, and I've got Rittenhouse Rye, 100 proof there. But yeah, so we're looking forward to that. I think I should do some more drinks with vermouth in it because I've got vermouth to use up. Doesn't keep forever. So what's this? I'm interested in this recipe, the picador, which they say is exact the same as classically proportioned margarita. Was published in W.J. Tarling's 1937 Café Royal cocktail book, 16 years before the first written reference to a margarita. So the picador, tequila, triple sec, and lime juice. I'm almost tempted to put that in there just for the historical oddity of it. A silk stocking. Ooh, what's in a silk stocking? That sounds kind of interesting. Tequila, creme de cacao, grenadine, and cream. A creamy tequila cocktail. Did I just say catila? I don't know. Jesus. But a creamy tequila cocktail. That's an interesting one. These are all really interesting. I'm not making all of them, though. Tommy's Margarita. Everyone knows the Tommy Margaritas. Over 200 more tequila cocktails. Jesus. Tommy's Margarita is good, but everyone knows it. So that's 2 ounces of tequila, lime juice, agave, and bitters. Okay, so the classic margarita is tequila, triple sec, and lime juice, and Tommy's margarita is tequila, lime juice, and agave. Interesting. So what's this one? The Emetition twist. Emetition twist, tequila, maraschino, yellow chartreuse, and bitters. Created by Dave West at the Trio Bar and Grill in Leeds, England. Picador is the classic thing. Maybe I should do the silk stocking because that's really unusual with the cream aspect. Because you don't really associate, cream with tequila. I think you've told me Facebook, Kirsten. You've told me about the margarita mum before. Yeah. An Instagram. Catherine, speaking of silk stockings, wonder what a drink clarified through stockings would taste like. Okay, Catherine, it probably depends if someone's been wearing the stockings or not. But you raise a good point. A high quality silk stocking would probably be fine enough to be a very good filter for a clarified drink. Where you cut the legs off and put one inside the other, then you've got a double filter. Yeah. I think I just worried you're getting into some weird fetish there, Catherine. Smelly feet cocktails, straining your drink through stockings that someone's been wearing. I'm sure there's someone who's into it. There's someone who's into everything, no matter what you can think of. There's someone who's into it, and smelly feet drinks. I'm sure there's a market for them. Speaking about weird and gross things, I talked to Aidsy today. Not saying he's weird and gross, although I'm not saying that. He insisted on telling me a very gross story that I think if and when he next shows up on a live stream, he's going to insist on telling everyone in the stream. And it was a spectacularly gross story. The fact that he's not here is good. That means he and boss of the house having a date night tonight, because that's what he said when I talked to him today. He said, all going well, it's date night tonight. And if it doesn't quite go so well, he'd message me and say, can you come on the stream? And he didn't message me. So that's actually a good thing. That means he's having a good time. Here's a net rule 32. Yes, there is someone who's into it. I think it's the classical definition of rule 32. If there's a thing, there is a porn version of it, which is tells you all you need to know about humans, really. Because I think that is accurate. I think rule 32 is most definitely accurate. So it is, yes, just ever such an abundance of porn throughout the history of humans. Tequila, an almond old-fashioned. Ooh, that's not. They say to do it with amaretto. I could do that with Mac. So an almond old-fashioned, Reposado tequila, amaretto, agave, and bitters. I mean, that sounds pretty good, honestly. Yes. Bending Blades, Tequila, Gentian, Sherry, and Pamplemousse. So I don't have that. Bermondsey Minute, Tequila, Antica Formula, Maraschino Liqueur, and Lavender. Bird is the word. It's a good name for a drink. The bird is the word. Tequila, yellow chartreuse, apricot brandy, and lemon juice. Tequila-based riff on the last word. Okay, bird is the word, rhyming with the last word, I guess. Blood orange margarita. Blanco tequila, triple sec, Campari, blood orange juice, lime juice, sugar syrup. I'm just drinking my blood orange juice a bit earlier. Shoots and ladders, tequila, Swedish punch. Tequila, triple sec, elderflower, blood orange, lime, orange bitters, rose champagne. Probably enough looking at tequila recipes there. Oh yes, Kirsten, a Mac old fashioned. So what? How exactly did you do a Mac old fashioned? That was a tequila old fashioned with a nut liqueur. What would you have in a Mac old fashioned? Ooh, one with a whole egg, a death flip. Bianca tequila, Jägermeister, yellow chartreuse, sugar syrup, and a whole egg. Ooh, challenging herbal and bitter complexity with an endearing sweet creaminess. God, that's tempting to do something different. One with a whole egg. Tequila, Jaeger, chartreuse. Well, I'd use Okar Gold, sugar syrup, and an egg. Ooh. I rarely do cocktails with an egg yolk, often with an egg white, rarely with an egg yolk. Mm-hmm. My goodness, there are so many things in here. So what's that? Invisible Chicken, you're saying rule 32 is you must have pictures to prove your statement. Okay. Rule 34 is the porn one. So many rule. What's Urban Dictionary says, if it can be said, it can be said with a picture. Well, I see what you did there when you could just as easily scour the interweb for hours trying to picture a picture of an owl with a text saying the same thing. Okay. Rule 32 is if it can be said, it can be said with a picture. And rule 34 is the porn one. Sorry. Oh, now I've got the yawns. That's a bad sign. Rule 34, if it exists, there's porn of it. And if there isn't, there will be. Yeah, that's fair. That is fair. Elizabeth Chicken sent a picture to prove the statement. So, Kirsten, 20 mils of Mac to an old fashioned with Starwood whiskey. Use Solera. Oh, nice. Yes. Yes. Well, I might even make one tonight. I could do that. I'll strictly say you're been steering clear of that Kanye shit. It's just depressing. Alexa, there's only audio on. You're forced every time I do. YouTube should add a yawn blocking feature. Oh yeah, they're so because just mentioning it now, I'm yawning again. Yeah, I'm stuck in the yawns. Sorry, I'm not actually that tired. It's just once I start yawning, I keep yawning. Christmas whiskey was special because it had your name on it. That is special. I like that. What's that webpage doing to me? Let me see. I want to see the rule 32 picture from Invisible Chicken. The laptop is taking so long. So very, very long. Oh, God. Oh, sorry. I cannot stop you yawning, though. Oh. Okay, try this again. Are you going to do it? Ah, it's going to do it this time, I think. No. No, this is just not going to play on the... Oh, wait a sec. I'll do it on my phone. The laptop's being a shit. But the phone will probably do it. Okay, no, I'll do it on my phone. The laptop's being a shit. And there is no one looking after Kanye. Should be let out. When you have as much money as he does, you get people who do the opposite of looking after you. They don't put any checks on you and encourage your stupidest impulses. Okay, so I want to do the messenger. See what Kelly sent me. Oh, Kelly sent me the rules of the internet. Oh, I feel like I've not seen that before. I will look at that at some length. Maybe I will make. What are we coming up to 9 o'clock? Maybe I'll make a Mac. That's an interesting question. Why did I hate on the pathetic, lying, cowardly, Nazi sympathizing, now openly racist, worthless fucking shit stain who's also a misogynist? I don't know. I can't put my finger on a single reason why I'd hate on a gutless, lying sack of shit who sucks up to racists, white supremacists, misogynists, and rapists. I can't think of why I would hate on someone who is such unutterable, worthless, cowardly filth. I can't think of any reason to hate on someone who is despicable, racist scum, a sniveling, cowardly, worthless, spineless, shit-eating fuckwit. Hey, Safa, you came in on something fun there. You have a printed out copy of the rules. Well, that's bound to come in handy. Yes, printed rules of internet stuff is very handy, definitely. Get fucked, you worthless fucking sniveling sycophant. He's not clowning on Nazis. He is a fucking Nazi. He joined the fucking equivalent of the Nazi party in the UK. He's a lying, worthless, cowardly sack of shit. And anyone who's a sycophant for him is worthless, contemptible, fucking scum. And I have nothing but contempt for you. Strictly saying, talk about Trump or Kanye. Does anyone still talk about Trump? I don't know. He's such a worry. Yes. Oh, Trumpy's going to have a meltdown because stuff's getting way out of control for him. I mean, what's his name? Biden's super fucking lucky because he's an absolutely shithouse candidate, and Trump would have destroyed him if it wasn't for COVID. COVID looks like it's going to sink Trump because there's going to be a fuck ton of dead Americans, absolute fuck ton of dead Americans by the time the election rolls around. So, yeah, it looks like that's going to work out badly for him. So you can see, the Garden interview, is that the one that Fox actually did, where the Fox person was actually literally saying to Trump, like, you're kind of talking shit here. You're in trouble when Fox does that to you. So how random was Kanye? He's pretty random. He's not well. He's just, when I say he's a narcissist, I don't mean any clinical diagnosable way. He's just a self-absorbed prick. That was him, Chris Wallace, strictly saying. Yeah, I saw bits of that, and it was kind of funny. If someone like that's going to have a go at Trump, they all smell blood in the water, basically. If Fox News are going to start picking on Trump, they have decided he's yesterday's man, and they're now working on distancing themselves from him because he may finally completely poison the Republican Party brand. Mm. It's a funny thing with Kanye because for years people picked on him for being egotistical, and I would defend him on the ego front in that he is talented. Anyone who tries to argue that Kanye is not talented is fucking clueless. It's actually quite pathetic to argue that Kanye is not talented, but something went very wrong with him. He hasn't been leading a normal life for a very long time, and it's starting to come out in incredibly strange ways. Basically, he is unmoored. He's detached from reality. He hasn't had to live in the real world for a very long time. And my wordy, it's starting to show. So you could say, you reckon Chris Wallace has been kind of laying on Trump the last 2 years? But but he's also not the only person on Fox News who has poked holes in Trump. So if is Kim controlling Kanye, Kanye would be less fucking stupid if Kim was controlling him. Yeah, Alexa, that's another good point. The Republicans against Trump campaign. There's that mob who are making the attack ads on Trump who are actually Republicans, and what they call it, the Lincoln Project. And I refuse to fucking endorse what they're doing or say, oh, isn't that great? Because they're just fucking Republicans. They just see that Trump is going down, and they far too late want to be seen as speaking out against Trump, like when he's already losing. And they want to have some hand in, a Biden presidency. The people behind the Lincoln Project are shitheads and grifters and not to be trusted. And you reckon he's got a serious delusional disorder? I don't know. It's a combination of just being really vain and absolutely detached from reality, like not having to deal with the real world. He hasn't had to deal with the real world, in well over a decade. When did he first started releasing stuff? Again, time has no meaning. I spelt that wrong. Kane, not Kanye. For fuck's sake. Kanye. It's his Wikipedia entry. When did he first release something? Kanye Amari West. Born 1977. So he's old. 43. Career. So his early stuff was more than 20 years ago. So he's been in the industry for over 20 years, and he's been successful for well over 10 years. Strictly Sega, you remember listening to him in 2006? Yeah, mid noughties, he started to get big, but he actually started in the biz before 2000. So he's been famous, as in he's been separated from reality famous for well over 10 years. That does things to your head. Guess what annoys you? The amount of people that are like, can I call you Kanye. Oh, because of your surname. Like, no, fuck off. Yep, that's fair. Ooh, that's a neat bit of trivia, Strictly Sega. He toured Australia with U2 and Sneaky Sound System. Yeah. That's the thing, and I don't think you need a mental illness as such to be super fucking weird. If you lead a life that's completely separated from anything that could be regarded as normal, you're just not like other people, not like other people at all. So, and I think that's what the story is with Kanye. He's just not like other people. Because he doesn't have to be. Yeah. All these. Oh, there it is. List of old-fashioned cocktails. Couldn't just find a straight old-fashioned. One fluid ounce. Oh, there's an interesting mix. They say make it half bourbon and half rye. Yeah. That's interesting. And a dark. I don't think I've got a dark sugar syrup, but that's okay. Nine drops of bitters. They're being very precise there. Might. Yes. This thing I'm going to do a Mac old-fashioned. So what's the chance Kanye's done drugs? Kanye's done heaps of drugs. Not even a controversial statement. That's true. Agave is probably my best bet, which I do have. 20 mils back. All right. I'm going to make. Ooh, Annette, some Bailey's in bedtime hot chockey. That sounds mighty fine. Yeah, I'm going to make a Mac old fashioned. Get my mixing glass. Right. Mixing glass. Now I want to try something. What ice do I have here? All right. Try something here. Here's my old-fashioned glass. Okay. Now, do these big blocks fit in here, or are they too big? I don't know. That fits in there nicely. There's barely enough room for a drink. Right, I might actually break this one for stirring. There's a spoon. A swizzle spoon. That's the neck. Ow! Something stabbed me. Okay. My stirring glass. I'll try cracking some ice. Crack a big thing. Okay. That got on my laptop. That's a bit more like it. That's actually pretty good. Do I want more? Might do this block as well. Yes, I did hear Sean McAuliffe's doing either a doco or a series on Australia and drinking. And Sean McAuliffe's a teetotaler. Okay. That is such a messy way to prepare ice. All right, I'm going to do this with Starwood. Starwood. It's already going down. Where's my Mac? Where is my Mac? There. Starwood and Mac. Ooh, and I've got to decide which of my huge variety of bitters I'm going to use. Decisions. What's that one? Finger line. No. What's this one? Chocolate? No. Peychaud's? No. This one, I think. This is also an Australian, in fact, a Melbourne bitters. It's my agave syrup. Oh, I think I have to open a new thing of agave syrup. Alrighty. It's probably got a seal. Yes, it does. Yeah, I like Sean McAuliffe, so I'll probably check out his documentary on Australia's drinking culture. Be interested to see what he does with it. Yeah. Okay. There. Now, so 2 ounces of the whiskey. Got to have a jigger if I'm going to measure whiskies. Rinse the jigger. Release the jigger. I said jigger. Don't cancel me. Okay. Because you have some pear syrup you want to make into a spiced pear syrup. That sounds pretty good. Yeah, I've got a lot of what do we call it? The oleosaccharin, the fruit oil and sugar syrup. Right, put in some Mac. A little bit more. Yeah. And just a little agave, a bar spoon. And some bitters. Strictly saying, Sean's very clever. See Tony Martin gush whenever he talks about him. Yes. Sean McAuliffe is pretty good. Always surprised he's not a bigger star than he is. Safa, would I drink booze if it was freezing outside? Yeah. Not taking, you got to be careful. You don't want to die of hypothermia with booze fooling you that you're warm. All right. Oh my God, that tastes good. Where's my strainer? My initial taste is this is fucking fantastic. Alrighty. Oh, first old-fashioned I've made in a while. Oof. goes well. Don't have any fruit to squeeze onto it, I don't think. No. That's the only thing lacking. I don't like have an orange to peel and squeeze the oils on here. My Mac old fashioned. Look at that. It just sort of fits the glass perfectly. That's more good luck than good management. I like the way that looks. Oh my God, yes. Oh, okay, that is very good. That is very, very good. Oof. Geez, I'll have to do a shopping trip just to get an orange, because the only thing that could make that better would be a twist of orange into it. And have to make a shopping trip just to get an orange. It's like in this current lockdown thing, you can only go out to get food that's necessary. You go, yeah, this orange, it was necessary that I went out just to get this orange. Though I would hate to have to explain that to a cop. Why you're out? I had to get an orange. Why? To make my old fashioned even better, I needed an orange. And there comes the fine. Yeah. That is really fucking good, though. Thank you for the suggestion, Kirsten. It is exceptionally good. A Mac old fashioned. It's really good. What else they say? They just an espresso martini with Mac, or just Mac on ice. Yeah, not wrong actually. Just Mac on ice would probably be good. I think it'd be good on ice cream, actually. Probably said that before as well, that would be good on ice cream. I've got a few liqueurs that would go well on ice cream. Oh yeah, Alexa, lawyers absolutely so say don't talk to cops for a reason. Oh, Kirsten, it is so good. Oh, it's really good. I've been wearing a mask for about the last 2 weeks because I thought it was coming, so I was trying to get used to it. And I have to admit, I freely admit I don't like wearing a mask, but I do because it's the right thing to do. But I'm not going to sugarcoat it and say that it's great because I actually don't like it, but that's okay. Strictly Sega, who would play me in the Angry Aussie movie? Gosh. What how could I possibly answer that? No. There's literally no answer I can give that wouldn't embarrass me one way or the other. But that's so good. Oh, your workplace actually made masks mandatory. That's good. That's excellent. The workplace actually taking concern. My workplace just confirmed, and I don't know, like 90% of the workforce isn't working in the office building in the city, but they just confirmed yesterday the second staff member to test positive. They'd been working in the office thing in the city. And I thought, well, what are the freaking odds when at least 90% of the people in the office building are working from home? Maybe more than 95%. And yet they've had 2 people test positive in the last couple of weeks. Like, dude. Oh, sorry. Alexa, what are we talking about? Mac on ice cream? This is Mac, an Australian macadamia and wattle seed liqueur from Byron Bay in New South Wales. The Cape Byron Distillery. They make a few things. I think they make gin. Let me see. What else do they make? Mac liqueur. The Cape Byron Distillery. Come on down. Yes, I'm old enough to buy the bar shop. So they make they've got a few package sets. Shell the Pearl. I don't know what that is. It's out of stock anyway. They did a limited edition. So they do Mac, they do a dry gin, slow gin, and that's it. They do gin and Mac. Okay. What was Shell the Pearl before they ran out of it? Kumquat gin. Goodness. There you go. So that was a limited edition kumquat gin that they've sold out of. But yes, so they make the Mac liqueur and they make gin. So, oh, you reckon the slow gin from Brookies is good? Okay. Ooh, they got Mac into the UK. Nice. So they do have a whiskey coming as well? Oh, they recruited one of your distillers. Nice. I suppose a lot of the distilleries who are doing gin are working up to a whiskey because whiskey, of course, takes years, whereas, gin is much, much, much quicker, and liqueurs as well. Who knows what's going to be on the Australian market in a couple of years? Safi, you've actually been to the Cape Byron Distillery. That's cool. It's funny, if we're buying all this Australian stuff, I've only actually been to one Australian distillery. When I was on a weekend away with Mrs. Angry at the Bellarine Peninsula past Geelong. There was a distillery that was doing gin, and we did a gin tasting. And they had a whiskey in the works. Teddy and the Fox, that's what they're called, Teddy and the Fox. And they've got a whiskey on the way. So what they currently have, they have their gin, Rosie and the Rabbit's gin, their fancy gin, the old Dodger gin, it's a stronger one. That's their Navy strength, the old Dodger, okay. Trooper and the Roo, sweeter gin. Whiskey currently maturing, release date 2021. Been building up to that for a couple of years. So they have a couple of gins and they're building up to their whiskey release next year. Yes, Kirsten, definitely when lockdown's out, definitely doing, taking you up on the offer of a Starwood tour. The Bellarine Distillery, yes, and that's their website, bellarinedistillery.com.au. And they have their cellar door for the distillery they call the Whiskery, which is cute. I like that. And that's where we went and had the gin tasting at the Whiskery. This was last year in a much simpler time, pre-global pandemic. So, yes, look forward to maybe doing it again another time. Yeah, we'd actually gone out there for the Flying Brick Cidery like their cider and food. And we found a new place to stay, which was these relatively new, what were they calling them? They were little standalone units on a winery. If I was a wine drinker, would be actually you've still got the wine. You got a complimentary wine as part of the thing, and we don't drink wine, so it's still here. That's it, the McGlashan Estate. That's where we stayed. I don't think you can see. I don't know the McGlashan Estate in Wellington. That's where we stayed, and they had these accommodation units that were quite new, and they were very good. But yeah, we'd gone there to go to Flying Brick, and then we were just looking at what's in the neighborhood that we could also go to, and we saw this distillery was just up the road, and so we went there, and that was really good too. Kirsten, you're going to bet 2021-22's big year for whiskey releases. Yeah, so many distilleries founded around 2017, 2018. So give them, 3-4 years, and they can release their whiskies. And so there'll be a sudden surge of Australian whiskies in the next couple of years. Safa, that is traditional. I think you're right. People often recommend white wine with pasta or fish and red wine with steak or other red meat. Kirsten Manley Spirits in New South Wales is going to put out a big whiskey release. Well, oh my God, you're saying me talking about how good the Mac Old Fashioned is was tempting you. I've got to talk myself out of making another one, basically. So good. So good. I've just got my big block of ice melting in here. Oh, still got the old-fashioned taste in it. Yum. Oh, well, tomorrow is... yes, good call, Safa, about drinking in moderation. Absolutely. Is a good call. Just taste. This is one of those ones where, you know, it's like sometimes it's like, you never have a drink because I want to get drunk. But just sometimes it's like, that was such a good fucking drink. Like, that just tasted so good. I want to do another one. But I won't. Tomorrow's a work day. So, I'll ease off at this point. Tomorrow night I'm going to make some tequila drinks anyway. I think the ones I'm going to make the Emma Titan Twist, which is tequila, maraschino, ochre, gold, and bitters. And I reckon the silk stocking, because the cream is a real surprise. Don't really associate cream with a tequila drink. So tequila, white creme de cacao, grenadine, and cream for silk stocking. A vintage classic from Ryan. He appears to be a chap of Indian descent, surnamed Chettiawadana. Shared his recipe at the Cabinet Room, London, during the UK finals of that year's world-class bartending competition. Ryan Chetty, I'm not going to pronounce that. Chettiawadana. It's a lot of syllables for a name. Chettiawadana. 6 syllables. Who needs 6 syllables in their name? 3's extravagant. The 2's acceptable. 3 is extravagant. 6 syllables is just being greedy. That's taking syllables from other people who can't afford syllables. All the Smiths who wish they had more syllables to spare. No, syllables have just been hoarded by the Chettiawadanas of the world. I have an affront about syllables. You are absolutely right, Kirsten. Make the Mac Old Fashioned for my cocktail channel. That is a winning call. Yes. Because then I could also suggest, substitutions for people around the world who aren't fortunate enough to be able to get a hold of Mac. I mean, you could put amaretto in. That'd still be interesting. Not as good as Mac, but see. Ooh, my cocktail channel. By the way, I had a little fan moment yesterday when I got a new subscriber who happens to be the biggest cocktail channel on Australian YouTube. Steve the bartender subscribed to my cocktail channel. And I had a little squee at those because I always comment on his videos and he often replies. And yesterday after I commented on one of his videos, he actually subscribed to my channel. So that was a little fan moment for me. Australia's biggest cocktail channel subscribing to my cocktail channel. So Steve the bartender, what a legend, with his famous smile. He's famous for when he's doing a shaken cocktail. He goes, doing a shake for 10 seconds, and he goes into profile and shakes, and everyone waits for him because he'll be like this going, he'll turn and smile. He's got a nice smile. Everyone waits for him to smile when he's shaking a cocktail. Oh, yes, Kirsten. Okay, he's followed you on Instagram. Definitely squee-worthy. Like I said, he is by a long way, like a long, long, long way. He is the number one cocktail channel on Australian YouTube. He's one of the top handful of cocktail channels in the world. Certainly in the top 5, possibly even higher. Yes, that's right. Him and his mates released a gin really just in the last year, wasn't it? Maybe even the last 6 months. Because he's been a bartender for a while, and he partnered with some other guys. And they released a gin in the last 6 to 12 months, I think. December. Yeah, I thought it was relatively recently. But he's cool and does interesting stuff on his channel. But like I said, he's not only by far the top cocktail channel in Australia. He's definitely in the top 5 globally on YouTube. He might even be top 3. Stella, you've been making butter, broken your food processor as the buttermilk leaked into the motor, but it got you thinking. Wonder what buttermilk clarified cocktails will be like if the buttermilk has enough fat. It's a worthy experiment. And of course, this is tempting to do some butter washed scotch. See, butterscotch. Having experimented with a few things with the clarification, I still haven't experimented with fat washing. I really want to do that. That's the other thing. Anything that has fat or oil in it, you can infuse into a spirit, and the spirit will absorb the flavors. It's like, a really popular one is bacon fat and whiskey. And it's actually where the term butterscotch comes from, is actually butter washed scotch. You can fat wash with butter, with animal fats. What was I trying to say? Avocado oil is a popular one with certain spirits. Taste better with an avocado fat wash in them. And it's basically really simple. Whatever the fat or oil is, you warm it up so it's really liquidy, and then you stir it into the spirit that you're washing with the fat, and then you put it in a container and put it in the freezer, and the fat will rise to the top and solidify into an easily removable chunk. And because that fat will also have the flavor of the spirit, you can use that in cooking. And then you fine strain the spirit to get rid of any little bits. And then the spirit has taken on the flavor of the fat. Yes, Stella, definitely get the science on. Do some experimentation. Absolutely. That's what it's all about. I feel like, well, we're on the internet. Let's check. This will just be an average. Buttermilk fat content. It's the average fat content of 0.9 grams. That's not much. That is not much. One cup of buttermilk contains around 100 calories and 2.2 grams of fat, whereas whole milk contains about 150 calories and 8 grams of fat. Okay, buttermilk might not have enough fat to clarify, because it's like, yeah, like whole milk's got 4 times the fat. Wait a sec. Buttermilk fat content. What does it say about almond milk? Almond milk fat contents. How much fat is in almond milk? 40 calories, 3 grams of fat, and 1 gram of protein. Why wasn't it showing me the percentage? Nutrition and benefits. Oh, I see. Okay, fat. Nutrition facts. Why is there not just a percentage? 4%. Okay. Yeah, I suspect buttermilk won't have enough fat to do clarification. I suspect. That's true, actually, Stella. That's the whole thing. If you don't strain it really finely, you'll still have butter chunks in it. That is absolutely true. And a homemade buttermilk, I think, stands a good chance of having more fat than what you'd buy in the store. So it's worthy of experimentation, but I suspect you might have some difficulty using buttermilk to try and do a clarified drink, because it may not have enough fat. Now it's just water. It's got a very slight old-fashioned flavor in the water, which is disappointment. But that's okay. Because buttermilk's a really good flavor, but yeah, I'm not sure that it would work to clarify a drink. I feel like it doesn't have enough fat, but you never know. I've got to make some more syrups for drinks, actually. I'm almost out of homemade grenadine. So I've got to make some more of that, because last time I made some batches, I made them in small batches so they wouldn't go off. And I'd use them up relatively quickly. So I might even do it tomorrow, make some more grenadine and some more cream of coconut. Because I used up, and cream of coconut, while clearly being super bad for you at 50% sugar, same as bloody grenadine, homemade grenadine is 50% sugar, but the cream of coconut makes for really fucking good drinks, particularly a pina colada, but there's a whole bunch of tropical drinks you make with cream of coconut. And sorry, I just looked around because I just heard a weird noise and I don't know what it was. If it was something outside, or it's just because Mrs. Angry is watching Star Trek in the next room. It might have been a Star Trek sound effect that I heard and couldn't quite place. So occupational hazard with shows like Star Trek. weird noises and you don't know what's causing them necessarily. I think, was I watching anything? I think I was just watching YouTube videos earlier, which are a bunch of YouTube videos. And what have I been watching? Well, no, I said I just watched. I'm probably thinking of last night. I watched War of the Worlds and What We Do in the Shadows. Yes. Although there's some in the next month, there's a couple shows bringing out new seasons that I definitely want to watch. Kirsten, the internet tells you if you get the juice bags, put them in the freezer, your syrups don't go off too quick. Okay. Well, I just compensated by making smaller batches of the syrups that I knew I'd use before they went off. Sometimes it feels convenient to make a really big batch of the syrup, but I made a big-ish batch of grenadine sort of 2 times ago, and I definitely kept it too long, and I worry that I was ingesting black mold or something from it. So that, okay, don't do that again. Just make a smaller batch and use it up, and then make another batch. There was a rumor once, particularly with cream of coconut, and I can't remember where I heard it, but if you put, like even half a shot of rum in, it will preserve it for a much longer period. And then I haven't been able to rediscover that advice for verification, so I just made a small batch that I knew I'd use up. Plus, it was actually made with UHT cream of coconut, so long life cream of coconut from Costco. So I think it probably was going to last a long time anyway. It's supposed to last a long time if it's ultra heat treated. And sugar's a preservative as well. So an ultra heat treated coconut milk with sugar in the fridge should last a long time. And it didn't last a long time because I used it, particularly once I experimented with clarifying a pina colada using the cream of coconut as the clarifying agent, and it worked. And a clarified pina colada is just the best fucking drink ever. My God, it is so good. It is so amazingly good. Yes, you're right, because anything with higher than 30% alcohol shouldn't go off. That's why I've got vermouths in the fridge once I open them, because they tend to be less than 30%. They tend to be around 20%. So they have a limited shelf life once open. So vermouths, aromatized wines, they go in the fridge once they are opened, because you don't want to poison yourself with your booze going off. Mind you, I was just like, I was discussing with my friend Dave. He's actually asking me, I think he found remnants of a parents' bar, some of which may have dated to the 70s. And he was asking me how safe I thought it was. And I was like, what's the alcohol content? And is it open? And I think there was some liqueurs that were only about 20% and had been open possibly since the 70s. And I was like, I wouldn't. And it was like a gin or a vodka. And I was going, they're probably safe, probably taste terrible, but they're probably safe. And it's just, weird stuff. Got even an unopened bottle from the 70s I'd have questions about, in all seriousness. But, never know. Depends how adventurous you feel, really. It's anything could happen. End up tripping balls because a hallucinogenic fungus has started growing in your booze. I don't think that happens. I think I made that up. I don't think that's a real thing at all. Well, there are rumors that there are certain forms of black mold that can make people a bit crazy, can grow on food, and can have hallucinogenic qualities. Sorry, Stella. I just saw what you said, that you have both buttercream and motor oil on your bench from where the food processor shit itself. That's probably fair enough. Yeah, that's going to make for a one-of-a-kind drink. Buttermilk and motor oil would definitely make for a one-of-a-kind drink. This is the old joke about someone posting a picture of a poisonous mushroom with the caption, "This is a very special mushroom. If you eat it, the nutrition will last for the rest of your life and you'll never have to eat again because you'll be dead in half an hour after eating it." So technically, not a lie. Certain mushrooms, you eat one of them, you'll never have to eat again because you will be dead before you get hungry. So not lying. There's like, what show was it where someone said like, talking about, some plant matter and is that edible? And the other person goes, well, everything's edible once. You didn't ask, was it toxic? You just said, was it edible? It's like, well, you can eat it once. Last time you eat anything, but that wasn't your question. You just said, could it be eaten? Yes. Lava, technically edible. You can have a big old cup of lava, put it in your mouth, down your stomach. Last thing you ever eat, but technically, you could eat it. It's just not a good idea. In this modern world, do I feel the need to add a disclaimer? Lava eating, bad idea. Are people that stupid? I don't know. I have a pretty low opinion of people. Maybe it would be necessary. I'm just drinking melted ice now. I'm thirsty. There's a teeny flavor of the old-fashioned in it still. I was mainly drinking it for the water. I tell you what, Kirsten, I reckon when you said to make the Mac old-fashioned for my YouTube channel, about when the new whiskey comes out, you think that would make for a good old-fashioned? Maybe I'll save it for that when that comes out. With the old high-end whiskey. That could work. And you also think people are that dumb. Yep. Stella, considering some of the human movement students you had in first-year geology classes would probably drink lava. Yeah. Dumb as rocks. Yes, Kirsten, you're okay. I'll wait for the new one. Be picking that up as soon as it's out, and I'll showcase that with a Mac old-fashioned. Nice, because that was with the twofold. That was really fucking good. That was really good. I'll maybe even make like a Demerara sugar syrup just for that. The other one, sugar, I found that was really good for making a dark and really flavorful sugar syrup. It's just in the supermarket as this unprocessed coconut sugar. And I made a sugar syrup with that. And it was really dark, like really molassesy. Ooh, batch one, never to be repeated. Ooh, I'm definitely going to have to get some. So, yeah, and show off to the world. And yeah, say to people like, okay, you can make this with any whiskey. However you like to do an old-fashioned, use that whiskey, but definitely going to show off if this is a never to be repeated batch. So, yes, okay, that's something to look forward to. I'll definitely be doing that. And yeah. Okay, well, as I said, the twofold was that good. I'm really looking forward to this one, the special batch. Yes. The thing is, oh yeah, I was thinking, what else can I showcase Australian? Because I've got the I have to do something with gin because I've got the Brogan's Way gin coming. There are, of course, a few million good gin cocktail recipes. Might even be some suggestions that come from Brogan's Way. Actually, I might even look on their website. Do they have some suggestions? Rogan's Way. I'm over 18. What's on the website? News and events, contact, about, shop and takeaway. World Gin Day 2020. Ginstronomy, the art of pairing food with gin. Eat and drink your way through social distancing and self-isolation. Guide to where you can order food. Yes, I've got date night this weekend. I have to think about where we're going to get it from. Coffee, dinner. Oh, these are all over there. Yes. Haven't decided what's happening this Saturday night. Whether one of our regulars or try somewhere new, because there are lots of places doing the tiki wees at the moment, and make an at-home date night a little bit special. Ooh, I'll have to revamp the cocktail menu. Oh, I see. That's an interesting classification. I thought Safa was right when he said limited edition. When Kirsten, you said batch one, never to be repeated. But technically not a limited edition, but each batch will be slightly different. I guess that's the nature of whiskies as well. So Kirsten, is this new one going to be a core product, going to keep doing it for a while? Because for those who don't know, particularly the boutique distilleries, if they decide they're going to always, or for an extended period, make repeated batches of a spirit or a liqueur, that's a core product. But if you are doing the alternative is a limited edition, a single run. Fortis is going to be core range. Nice. So you reckon the Royal Blood makes a good martini? Really great martini, in fact. Yes, I will have to try it in a martini. In fact, which version of a martini would be good? Because there's 50 million variants of martini in the world. The martini history. So goes back a long way, and it's martinis have mutated so much over the years. So I'm just looking at so many variants of a martini. Tried and true. Well, some are just different ratios, and some are with little additives. Some of them have brandies, some with sherry even. There you go. Bartender's Martini, gin, dry vermouth, fino, sherry, Dubonnet red, and Grand Marnier. That seems nothing like a martini to me. A bartender's martini. 1 ounce gin, 1 ounce sherry, 1 ounce Dubonnet, a French red aromatized wine, 1 ounce vermouth, half an ounce of Grand Marnier or orange cognac. Oh my God. That's like nothing like a martini. That's a really long way from a martini. Kirsten, instead of keeping a bit from each batch to be blended in the next batch, do one batch, decide it's perfect, and then release. Nice. Stella, you want the imperfect factory seconds? And by we, I mean the incredible talented head of blending in his team. Yeah, but you're part of the team. You should definitely be saying we. It's good to be proud to be part of the team. Yes, as I say, you may not be the blend and one of the blenders, but you're definitely part of the team. So you should definitely take pride in saying we are releasing it. But yeah, I think I've said this before. I said it to Aidsy actually on the live stream, but if you're at all interested in whiskey and exploration thereof, YouTube channel called Whiskey Tribe. These two guys in Texas, they're a lot of fun and they love their whiskey. And they're basically like building this shrine to whiskey in Texas. And they're in the process of distilling and blending their own whiskeys at the moment. And they also have this massive whiskey collection that's probably absurdly valuable. And they literally keep it in a safe. The controlled room where the whiskey collection is, which is probably hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of whiskey. The door to the place is literally a safe. They've had a vault door fitted to this building. I think it's got really thick walls and it's climate controlled. And yeah, the entrance is a fucking vault door because it's hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of whiskey in there. Sorry, because there's a thing. Stella's wish for getting the factory seconds would be thwarted by the ATO. Oh, wow, that's cool, Kirsten. In a Whiskey Tribe video, you saw they had a bottle of Nova on the shelf. Very excited. Get them a bottle of the Fortis. They'd like that, I think. So if it wasn't Australia's first currency rum. There was things that people basically paid in rum. There's a long history of people being paid in things apart from coins, stuff that could be exchanged. One of the more interesting ones I heard on one of the food channels, the Italian cheeses, the Parma wheels, those huge Parma wheels that have the really thick rind or wax or whatever it is, the coating that's on them. They could basically be traded as currency because they were a known thing and they had a known value and they would change hands a lot. So that cheese as a currency, I find very interesting. So if we had the famous event known after the fact as the Rum Rebellion, and the rum aspect of it was apparently somewhat overblown, even though it's one of the free settlers was at loggerheads with Governor Bligh. Among other things, one of them was about distilling rum. So there's the rum in Australia. There was the New South Wales Police were known as the Rum Corps at one point. So there's a lot of rum in Australia's history. I was really tempted to, although I've now got a couple of rums. By a couple, I mean four rums. One Australian rum, Nicaraguan, Caribbean, and Bacardi. Yeah, I've actually got. Maybe I've got enough rums. I got 4 rums. I was really tempted. There was in the sale at Dan's. There was a what do you call it? Bundaberg 12-year dark rum, which is supposedly quite good, and was at quite a good price. Like I think it's like $15 off. It was over $10 off anyway. It was like $15 off, and I was really tempted to get that because although your basic Bundaberg has a bad reputation, dare I say, for basic bitches, but their special ones have a pretty good reputation. And when I saw this 12-year-old Bundaberg for a good price, I was really tempted to get, particularly because I made a couple of clarified rum cocktails recently that were just fucking great. Clarified pina colada and a clarified daiquiri that was just really good. Really good. So I was tempted to get some more rum, but I thought, maybe I've got enough. I don't know. Kirsten Fortis is going over to the States. Insist with the marketing team. Oh, yes. If you want to get it noticed, you get one to the Whiskey Tribe, definitely, yes. And still wants to have a whiskey rebellion, follow up to the rum rebellion. What about the Bundaberg Hotel fire? Oh, was that like a backpacker's place that went up or something? I did see something about a hotel fire up there. Are we blaming it on Bundaberg rum? I don't know. It's like you get rum wherever there's sugarcane, and of course there was sugarcane in Queensland. And this is the other disturbing thing. The history of rum is like a history of slavery as well. The sugar plantations in the Caribbean that famously originated rum were made economically viable by slavery. The Queensland sugarcane fields were worked by slaves, South Pacific Islanders who were kidnapped in a process that had the ridiculous name of blackbirding, but it was kidnapping and enslavement, and not openly talked about in Australia that we had this unregulated slave trade in Queensland, which in most ways is worse than the slave trade in the US, because at least the slave trade in the US was regulated. The fact that the slave trade in Australia was illegal also meant it was unregulated, which meant it was in many ways worse. So yeah, it's like sugarcane and rum and slavery are all really tightly intertwined. It's hard to separate them, to the point with everyone going on with renaming things and removing things. One of the famous rum makers who've used the name plantation for a long time have said, oh, we've been thinking about it, and the fact that this name basically celebrates slavery, plantations, maybe we'll change the name. I don't know if they're going to follow through with it, because it's a really big call to change a really well-known brand name. But they did say they were going to. And yeah, having your product be synonymous with and appearing to celebrate slavery that's intertwined with your product's history, not great. Really, really, really not great. So, in fact, one of the other rums I'd been tempted to buy, because people always rave about it, was the Plantation Pineapple Rum. So, yeah. So was that Invisible Chicken? Until the US separated from England, it was illegal to have slaves technically. Yes, England had banned the slave trade, but there were still many English slave traders who were just trading slaves in countries other than England or continental Europe, notably the Caribbean, and yes, later the United States. Yes, just because slaves were illegal in England didn't mean there were no English people involved in the slave trade, because there sure as hell were. Very much so. Wow, what a cheery note. Well, the rum talk was pretty good. Slavery talk, not that cheery. Rum talk, fairly cheery. Sailor talk, pirate talk. Arr, where's the rum? The rum's over there, lots of it. Yes, and I'll have to still toss up if I'm going to get that Bundaberg 12 here, because it seemed like a good deal. And I was like, do I really need it? I was like, well, it's not going to go off, is it? You have it on the shelf, a bit of variety. Lighten the mood. Look up the COVIDs. I have such a bad habit of doing that right at the end of a live stream, looking up COVID stats. That's a terrible thing to do, and I do it all the time. So what, I am going to leave. I'm going to bid you fine people farewell and good night. Thank you for spending time with me tonight. I'll be back tomorrow. Going to make some tequila cocktails for my cocktail gentleman. Hey, maybe if anyone wants to join in, do an angry bunch thing or whatever. See, Kirsten, you saw that deal too and thought about it too. It seems like a good deal. But yeah, you're terrible, Stella. Luring me into just the terrible downer of the fucking COVID stats. I have a feeling not so much here, but the rest of the world, the stats are going to be so much fucking worse in a month. They're not going to be better. They're going to be worse. They're going to be so much worse. I'm really concerned about that. Anyway, that is a bit of a downer, but I am going to go. Leave you. Be back tomorrow, all things being equal. I hope you all look after yourself in the meantime. So until next time, I will say goodbye.